Alright, this is my classic American Sonic timeline. I will be making a part 2, which is the Japanese Sonic timeline, then a part 3, which is the Redcon timeline that fixes Japan and Americans timeline. Since in America they didn't follow the story of the Japanese, and in Japan they had so many different writers for the Sonic series in Japan that it becomes convoluted. So that's why they retcon Classic Sonic in around 2011 to around 2020, around current days. Anyways, I'll be talking about the American timeline. Anyways, let's go with Sonic 1, Sonic the Hedgehog 1, Sonic and Eggman first meet. Hold on, before I start, I will not be talking about the Archie Sonic comics because Archie and Sad AM aren't the same continuity. Uncle Chuck in the shell created the Power Rings. In the Archie Sonic comics, an old man human created the Power Rings. There's very different lore. Alright, so let's get into Sonic 1. Sonic and Robotnik meet for the first time, or Eggman as he's called in the Japanese lore. Sonic and Robotnik are more of the back and forth rivals or arch nemesis. Sonic loves nature, while Robotnik loves pollution and machines. There's a clear divide. Even though there is a scene from Sonic Sad AM where Sonic meets Dr. Robotnik roboticizing Uncle Chuck, leading into the first events of Sonic 1. Sonic already met the Freedom Fighters by this time, but Sonic has to be the only one to go on this adventure because everyone else is too slow. Also, the reason why Tails isn't as smart and mechanical as he is in the current games is because he's way too young currently to do anything. Tails isn't a mechanic until Sonic 2, which Sad AM takes place before Sonic CD and Sonic 2 in the American timeline branch. Also, I would like to point out that this is not the official timeline for the official Classic Sonic timeline. That would be part 3, the retcon video where Sega gets their shit straight and makes an actual timeline for Classic Sonic. Alright, let's keep going. Sonic is the leader of the Freedom Fighters, which is a group of rebellious teens trying to fight back against Dr. Robotnik's pollution and machinery. Sally Acorn is the brains, Rotorus also the brains, but a genius, like a mechanical genius. Tails isn't a mechanical genius yet, but he will be later on in the series. Let's get into Bunny Rabbit. Bunny Rabbit is a half roboticized Mobian. I don't want to talk about Antoine because he's a little bitch. Also, let's talk about Dr. Eggman / Dr. Robotnik. He loves pollution. He loves machinery. He loves being around it. He's not the type of person. He wants to reshape the earth into his own image by polluting and mechanizing it. Sonic isn't the type of person to stand around and watch this happen. So Sonic runs off to stop Dr. Robotnik's evil plans. Later saves the day. Gets all 6 Chaos Emeralds, and that's Sonic 1. Let's get into the Sonic the Hedgehog TV show, which is canonically in the American timeline, is a prequel to Sonic 2 because Tails isn't as smart as he is. And it shows Sonic and his friends fighting against Robotnik. Also, I like to stress the little animal Sonic saves in the games are not the Freedom Fighters. The Freedom Fighters are as big as Sonic. They're inspired. The Freedom Fighters are inspired by the friends Sonic saves in the games, but aren't the Freedom Fighters. Sonic might have saved Green Hill, but he didn't entirely save the day. He only saved one portion of Mobius. I didn't say South Island because South Island didn't exist in the US branch of Sonic. None of the islands did until Angel Island in Sonic 3 Knuckles and Little Planet, which we'll get into later. So Sonic 1 and 2 in the American branch, they both take place in the same forest / area. I won't be talking about the UK timeline because it's very convoluted. Like, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. But also, one more thing. This isn't the official timeline. This is only the American Sonic timeline of the 90s. I will be doing a Dreamcast Adventure timeline. So let me explain how the retcon worked. The American Sonic timeline and the Japanese Sonic timeline merged together to create the new Classic Sonic timeline, which is modern Classic Sonic, as people say, or the Santiago timeline. Because not everybody's version of Sonic is the same. Not everybody's vision of Sonic is the same. Anyways, let's get into more Sadium. Snively's Eggman's assistant. This is a little bit of headcanon, but Snively is the Egg Robo in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. This is just headcanon, not officially stated. Anyways, let's get into Sonic CD. Here is Sonic CD. In the American version, Sonic saves Princess Sally, not Amy Rose. Princess Sally. Amy doesn't exist in the American Sonic timeline. Only in the Japanese timeline Amy existed. And also the retcon timeline. Since the retcon timeline takes more elements from Sonic SatAM in the early American 90s stuff, but also using most of the lore from the Japanese Sonic stuff, so no Freedom Fighters in that timeline. Sonic and Sally visit Little Planet. Right? Princess Sally gets kidnapped by Metal Sonic, so Sonic has to go save her. This is before Tails gets smarter, but by this point I think Tails is getting better. Sonic makes it to start the speedway, races Metal Sonic. defeats Eggman and escapes Little Planet with Sally intact. That's basically Sonic CD's American timeline branch. Even though it uses the Amy Rose sprites, Sega in America can't really change sprites that often, since CD technology was still kind of new at the time, and the Sega CD was already dying, so Sega of America just brought that in and didn't bother changing sprites. But there is a mod that changes Princess Sally for Amy, which is the images I'm going to be showing you. Anyways, let's get into Sonic 2. Tails is finally old enough to go on adventures with Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic and Tails, unlike in the Japanese timeline, they first met in Sonic 2. Sonic and Tails already knew each other, and Tails was finally able to go on adventures with Sonic more often. Sonic and Tails go to stop Dr. Eggman's Death Egg machine. Sonic discovers Supersonic, which is powered by Uncle Chuck's Chaos Rings, are also called Power Rings. Uncle Chuck's rings are able to power Chaos Emerald energy. Also, I would like to discuss in SatAM. In Sonic SatAM, they do show the time stones. So that means around that time in the US, the time stones, the games and the show, not Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. That's for the Master System timeline. SatAM in the Sonic games were connected at the time, because no one had knowledge of like the Japanese stuff at the time. They just knew Sonic had a girlfriend named Sally. He saves animals. That's kind of it. Before like the 2000 and stuff, and people started finding out about the Japanese and American differences, they didn't find that out until the Adventure era, and it was already too late since they already rebooted Sonic. Anyways, let's get back to talking. Tails, Sonic destroys the Death Egg robot and the Death Egg robot and Mecha Sonic, which is also Metal Sonic repaired himself, which I consider when Snively was leaving, you saw red eyes. That was it was supposed to be Exonagus or whatever, but the show got canceled, so that teaser it is Metal Sonic. Since the show got canceled, that teaser is Metal Sonic. Alright. Hold on, this video will be right back. Alright, I'm back. Let's start with Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Sonic has his own 7 Chaos Emeralds and his super farm. Sonic goes out to Angel Island, gets the shit beat out of Knuckles. Since the Chaos Emeralds theoretically have infinite energy, Knuckles has infinite strength. Star Pass infinite strength. So Knuckles beats the shit out of Sonic, robs his emeralds. Also, to state in Hidden Palace, Sonic did not beat Knuckles. Their fight was interrupted by Eggman. Knuckles was barely fighting in that fight. Knuckles was going easy on Sonic in that fight, since he was able to take out Super Mecha Sonic. Also, Sonic is faster than Knuckles, but Sonic's punches don't really do enough to Knuckles. Like, Knuckles could feel them, but like they don't really like knock him out or like hurt him a lot. Anyways, on to Sonic and Knuckles. Knuckles realizes he gets tricked and works with Sonic. They end up destroying the Death Egg for good. Anyways, next game. Sonic the Hedgehog Spinball. Sonic is on Mount Mobius, trying to rescue. He's trying to stop the Vega Fortress, and this is the first time the Freedom Fighter, other than Sally, had a full-on cameo in a Sonic game. Anyways, let's get back into it. Sonic is trying to stop Eggman on the Vega Fortress. And the Vega Fortress, this is headcanon here, it's the remains of the Death Egg falling into the ocean, and Eggman used the remains to build over a mountain to create the Vega Pinball Fortress to stop Sonic, which wasn't enough to stop Sonic. Sonic went through a lot in that game. I think Sonic was traumatized just from the events of that game, from all the weird enemies. He defeats Eggman / Robotnik. On to the next game. Knuckles Chaotix, but I also will be calling it Knuckles Chaos. I will be calling it Knuckles Chaos because it's just a better fitting name. Knuckles is chilling on, and Knuckles, I don't know what the fuck the US manual was on when making the game, but let's just go with the normal story. Knuckles was chilling on Angel Island until a new island randomly appeared into the ocean. Unknowingly, the Chaotix, Mighty, Vector, Espio, and Charmy Bee were exploring the island. Espio got captured, all the Chaotix did, so it's Knuckles' job to free them, and they help Knuckles along the way. You also have a rubber band tied to a ring. Let's get into their personalities. Vector is Vector, fuck, why did I say Knuckles? Vector is kind of a hothead, but he's also a chill leader. Espio is more of a hothead than Vector, but he's also very silent, and he keeps to himself. Charmy is just an annoying little shit. They stopped Eggman in the new built Metal Sonic. This is a different Metal Sonic from the one from CD2 and 3K, because this is just a new Metal Sonic. Later in the retcon timeline, we'll be seeing in Sonic Mania. For right now, this timeline is officially done.